Welcome to another episode of 50 Shades in Grey. Today is the first of a two-part series of the follow-up to the podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago with Martin Makepeace about Ibiza. So I've just returned from Ibiza and I thought it'd be a good time to just go through my experience of it, how I found the island, how I found getting around the island. So I found the island completely different ages as well. So right across the board. So don't think that it's just for the kids to go to Ibiza. I'm finding, and from speaking to Martin and from speaking to a lot of the people out there, that more and more of the older crowd are going back. That may be to recapture their youth or recapture their memories. But I found that a lot of people that I spoke to who are over the age of 40 usually had got themselves into a situation where they used to do that when they were young themselves in their 20s. Then they had families. The kids have grown up now. Their kids are going on their own holidays. So they're not just reminiscing about what they used to do. I think they're starting to remember what they used to do, and they're starting to get their lives back. And I met two or three couples that had gone out there as obviously husband and wife and girlfriend and boyfriend that I think were just finding each other again. Because I think in relationships that when I've spoke to people that are long-term relationships, that when there's kids involved, you maybe can lose sight of each other amongst the taking them to football practice, netball, dancing, whatever it may be. And you just become two people that are taxiing everyone else around and giving your kids the best life. And sometimes it's quite hard to find, one, the energy, and two, the time for each other. And maybe you can get a little bit lost in that. And from the people that seem to have the most successful relationships, they've either found themselves again afterwards or they've made sure that they found time for that during the relationship. So it's full of different characters, full of different people. And the second part of this podcast will be about some of the characters that I met, because I think characters that you meet are representative of a whole load of people. So their stories may well resonate with you, and there may be things in there that will just take you back to thinking of things that you wanted in your life. And it's never too late. It's never too late to sort of recapture those again. Now, for me, I was never a real fan of Ibiza when I was younger growing up anyway. So this was all new for me. I'm not a great house lover. I like watching the DJs. I was never into any drug scene at all. What was great though was when I was going to these clubs was just watching these people that love the music, love that scene and love that culture, just completely immerse themselves in the music and completely lose themselves. And there's something about watching people when they're really happy gives you a good feeling inside yourself, even if you're only a spectator of it happening. So anyway, so we're going to go through everything that we spoke about. So if you're in that age group, 35 plus maybe, and you're looking for somewhere to stay, we were based around San Antonio. Now, what I didn't realise was how spaced out everything in Ibiza was. I'm extremely lucky when I go there because I'm visiting and have become friends with Martin, who has immersed himself in the island for the last sort of 30 years. And he's one of the characters that I will be speaking about on the next podcast. But with that 30 years comes an awful lot of experience, and he literally does know everyone on the island that you need to know. So getting to the clubs, going into the clubs, getting into the nice parts of the clubs, getting the best tables, it's all done for me. So I realise I'm extremely fortunate for that. So I have that in mind when we're looking at everything, but you can still have great experiences as well, as I'm sure a lot of you have found already. So anyway, if you're looking for somewhere to stay, one of the great places that I went to was Amare Hotel. It's in San Antonio, fantastic sunset views, got a really cool little rooftop bar as well and a little pool up there. And if you're going with a group of sort of 40-somethings, it's a great place for you all to hang out and just recoup in the daytime, I think. There was a couple of groups of people that I saw exactly that. There was like 8 couples and they were all there having a great time, living their best life on the rooftop, in the pool. Downstairs, there's another great big pool that leads right out to the front and the sea. It's a little bit more commercial downstairs, but I think if you can spend your days there, you're going to meet a lot of people as well. So for those of you that are thinking about traveling on your own, it's a nice place to look at as well, because I think you'll meet a lot of people there in the daytime. And if not, you can just chill out by the pool, have a drink, and then wait for the evenings to come. But I'm sure you'll meet people there, because it was a really friendly atmosphere. It's a nice, clean hotel as well. And there's loads of hotels in Ibiza. So that was just one of my favourites, mainly because of the rooftop bar. I think it's a really cool space. So then going out, my favourite day out, I love the days in Ibiza. I love the long lunches. Like I say, I love going to clubs, but my music was always more R&B kind of vibe. And I do like to sort of dance, and with house music, it's a different sort of dancing, I would say. So, but the daytimes for me were really special. If you're looking for a great day out and a really nice long lunch, Calabasas Beach Club. We went there on the last trip, and we went there this time. It's a really stunning location. You can do it two ways. You can either get the ferry there, which is really cheap. And if you're staying at the Amari Hotel, there's the ferry right outside. And the ferries are a great way to get around the island as well, because one, you get to see a lot, and two, they're really cheap. Because like I said at the beginning, the island is really spaced out. So if you're jumping in and out of cabs all the time, especially in the evening, it's not stupid money, but it can become expensive, and it's time consuming as well, because everyone is looking to do the same. Calabasas Beach Club. Book your table, go there. It's not stupid money. It's probably middle of the road, but it's really good food. And there's 5 different restaurants, I think there is now. I think it's split into 5 different sections. So you can go there with kids and have like a burger and chips, and there's like a sandwich place. We went to like what was called the a la carte restaurant, had the sangria. Sangria was fantastic, actually. And we had the sea bass, which was phenomenal. And I loved my food. And there was 3 of us ordered the sea bass. And it's probably the first time I've ever left food on a plate, actually. Fantastic. Had a really great day there as well. They're really friendly, nice little vibe there. There's music going on. There's a great beach there as well. So after you've had dinner, it's full of locals as well. So you do feel like you're on holiday. It's not just loads of Europeans that have all gone to that beach. So it's a really nice place to go. Calabasas Beach Club. I would probably pair that day with, and it would be worth spending the money to charter a boat if you're in a group. So you can charter a boat for 4, 6, 8 people. And what they've done now is they've split it into 3 different sessions, if you like. So you can do a 9 till 12, I think it is. It's a 3-hour session, a 1 till 4, and then the sunset. I would recommend getting the sunset cruise, because you can have 2 or 3 hours jumping off the boat and then finish off by seeing the sunset, which is absolutely spectacular in Ibiza as well, especially on that San Antonio side. You can go right out, sit in the water, and I think you can have a really great moment with your friends. And they're the kind of moments that you probably take away and you'll remember for a long time. So I would definitely spend the money on doing that as well. The waters there are crystal clear. Jumping in and off the boat, you can have a little scooter around. We were lucky enough on the day we had a jet ski as well. And so we were poodling around with that. I was poodling around with that, because anything over sort of 30, I was absolutely terrified. I don't know what's happened to me as I got older. But great for the kids. They loved it. Going on there with some of the older boys as well, terrifying each other. So that's a really great thing to do. So I would pair that with going to Calabasas Beach Club, doing that in the evening, and you could probably get a taxi there to Calabasas Beach Club, and then hopefully I think you'd be able to sort out maybe getting picked up by your boat as well, somewhere around there, so you could go off from there. So it's a way of getting back as well. But the cab ride shouldn't be too much. I would imagine sort of 20, 30 euros and you'll be able to get there. So that's my day. To pair that off in the evening, if you're going to some of the bars, some of the great bars, Cafe Del Mar is obviously well-known reputation. And the best night I had at Cafe Del Mar was Clockwork Orange. It was vocal house. So for me, that's about as housey as I get. I know true house lovers will probably think that's a bit commercial. Clockwork Orange, that was a great night for me. Really enjoyed that. And Cafe Del Mar is a spectacular location. The manager there is really friendly. He made us feel really welcome. We had a really good night there. And actually, we went there the night before when there was no one in there. And it was still really great little bar to sit out, look out, people watch, and have a few drinks and listen to some nice tunes in the background. So if you want to have a bit more of a chilled evening, you can do that. Now, right next door to that is Cafe Mambo. Again, an iconic venue. Great place as well. Have some big DJs as well that play there. And they usually do sort of a preset before heading off to some of the big clubs next door, which is the Mint Lounge, which you can sit there at a table or sit at the bar and you can still appreciate Cafe Mambo next door. You're literally only a metre away from it in terms of a table. If you're looking for breakfast out there, a couple of places, again in San Antonio, House of Bagels. That's a really good place to go and have a breakfast. They do really good coffee as well. And as you come out of there, right across the road is a great little bakery where they do croissants and paninis and all that sort of thing. And that's really cheap and great bread as well. If you like your bread like I do, I'm a bit of a carb man. Another little great place to go and have breakfast right opposite Ocean Beach Club is Cibo. It's a really great breakfast there as well. It's a really nice place to go and have a bit of breakfast in the morning if you're in that area and before heading into the rest of your day if you're going to Ocean Beach Club. Now, if you want to people watch, that would be one place I would go. Ocean Beach Club, it is different ages. I would say it's relatively young, so not bang on over fees. There are groups of over fees and everything else that go in there, but it is more of a younger crowd. But it's really friendly crowd. It's a great day to go. Probably the best day. I didn't go, but I did last year, was the R&B day for me. I had a great time. The great thing about O Beach, it's run incredibly well. The manager there that I've met a couple of times now, really great guy called George. I was watching him because I had to go back there in the morning because I left something there, as I always do. Now, bearing in mind, they've got a huge staff there. And what I did notice there was everyone was on point of what they were doing. That everyone was always hospitable. They was always picking up glasses, cleaning up as they went. And with a load of young workers, that's a really great skill to have, was to keep everyone on task. And that's a great place to go for lunch. And that's probably what I would do. If you're slightly older, because it's a really good lunch and it's good value for money as well and really good food. And then have just a little wander around and you can people watch. But that's a really good place to go. But like I said, it is a very well-oiled machine and the manager there, Joel, does a fantastic job. I saw his debrief or post-brief in the morning for all of the staff and it was really interesting to watch, always packed in there. So if you want to go there for the day, like I say, have a little lunch there, great to people watch, and it sets you up really nicely for the evening. Okay, so we head on to the clubs, which is the main part of Ibiza, which is why most people go to Ibiza. And like I say, I'm in a tiny minority when I'm there of people that, like I say, I don't do drugs. I'm not heavily into house. I like a bit of commercial house, a bit of vocal house. 99% of the people there are going there for the music and they love it. And that's what I can appreciate, people that love certain genres of music. So club-wise, like I said, for me, Clockwork Orange was really great. I saw a lot of people having a great night out, and the age group was probably 40 plus to Clockwork Orange. So if you get a chance and they're over there and you like that sort of music, then I would definitely recommend that. An older crowd is Pikes. Now, we haven't got any photos of Pikes because when you go there, you have to cover your phone up. I'm sure people sneak little photos out of it here and there, but it's got a great history. Obviously, Pikes, it was where George Michael filmed his Club Tropicana video and also hosted Freddie Mercury and all these big stars over the years. So you can feel there is an atmosphere there that it's got, those walls have probably got a lot of stories to tell. You can also stay at Pikes as well. It's not cheap, but it's beautiful. I think it's very bourgeois, I would say. We spoke to a couple of girls that were staying there and they had a great time there. They said the rooms are fantastic, really good food. And obviously, if you're going there in the evening for a drink, easy to get home, so you haven't got to cope with the cabs. But I would recommend to go to Pikes. There's 2 or 3 rooms. Upstairs, there's the little box room, so if you want your heavy house and you want to absolutely sweat everything off that you've eaten and drunk in the daytime, go there as well. And downstairs is a little bit more chilled, and there's some nice little places to go where you can have chats with people as well. So that covers a lot of bases. Now, Pikes are also doing another night that we went to, which was 5 to 8. Now, it's a location that I believe has been used for a lot of other events there. Absolutely mob when we went there. And again, for me, it was great to see a lot of people really enjoying their music. They have some really big DJs there. I think it's new this year, 5 to 8, but it's taking off. People having a great time. was an older crowd. There is a bit of youth there as well, but it was nice to see both ages mixing with that as well. So after, I think later on about 11, that heads inside, and that's again, you can take it till the early hours of the morning. Now, I didn't do any of the super clubs when I was out there. I know Martin's just done a podcast on this, so if you're interested in the super clubs, I think they've changed the face of it out there from what I could see. We drove past a couple. Universe is a new one that's opened up, and I think it's like 11,000 people, and it's the size of it is absolutely phenomenal. I think getting there is a bit of a trek. Getting out of there is also a huge problem at the moment, I think, until they sort that out. But I think for people that love their clubbing, they really don't care. They want to go there and experience it. I would have liked to have gone there actually just to see it. But I think just to go there for 10, 20 minutes is a bit of a headache getting in and out. But it's worth doing that if you want to go and experience it. But you've also got Ushuaia, you've got Amnesia, and you've got High. You've got all these super clubs now. As Martin alluded to on his podcast, I know that I'm not sure where all these people, if you're going to get more and more people coming in because these clubs are going to hold more and more people, or they're fighting over the same crowd. Everywhere you go in Ibiza, you can see posters for all these DJs now. You know, they're becoming huge celebrities and they're everywhere. And people are travelling to actually just see these DJs actually play. And that's the one thing that I do like doing. I do appreciate people that can like know their music and can mix their music as well. So if you're a fan of super clubs, then Ibiza's got all of that for you there. Okay, so what should you look for in Ibiza, or things that you should know if you haven't been before? I think be aware that if you are doing all these clubs, it's not like a strip, Ibiza. You've got San Antonio, where you've got Cafe Del Mar, Mint Lounge, and you've got a few places down there by the port, and that's easy to walk to all of them. But it's not like where you go to some of these other holiday places and literally you can come out of one club, walk 5 minutes, and you go into another club. You'll be doing a lot of cab rides. So just be aware of that. If you are heading off out to one club and then off to another, you will be doing cab rides. And at a certain point, it's really hard to get a cab because everyone's trying to do the same thing. Okay, so maybe it's worth thinking about, if you're going out there, maybe booking a car for a week in terms of getting a driver, getting a car, so you've always got that at your disposal. I've got no idea how much that will cost you, but that might save you a hell of a lot of time, because the one occasion where we did have to get a cab, I think we went from Mint Lounge and we were going to Plastic, actually, which was back in San Antonio. It's only a sort of 15-minute cab ride. It's too far to walk. It's possible to walk, but in that heat, it's probably too far. But we had to wait over an hour in a queue just to get a cab. Just be aware, if you are going over there, that may be something to think about. Maybe getting a driver for the week and in a car, that may end up actually cheaper than getting cabs absolutely everywhere. And what you'll spend in money, you will save in time as well. So if you're going all that way, you want to make the most of all your time. Length of time in Ibiza, I know people go for it. I think a week is a long time in Ibiza, because the one thing that I do know is that as you get older, having those sort of, most people are getting at 7 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't, but I was getting in early hours, sort of 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was still knackered the next day. So if you want your full time, you've either got to plan it where you're having a couple of down days, but that's really hard, because what you do find in Ibiza is you think, right, we'll get there, we'll just go out for a few drinks, maybe we'll be home by 12, 1 o'clock. You'll end up speaking to people and they're going, oh, we're going to this club, why don't you come with us? And you think, yeah, why not? I'm on holiday. Before you know it, you're out to 6 o'clock in the morning again. So, I would say 3-4 days in Ibiza is long enough. It really is. If you can do a week, then fair play to you. But I'm sure if you do a week when you start getting older, it's going to take you about 2 weeks to recover when you get back. Listen, like they say, you're a long time dead, so it may be worth it. And a lot of people are here for a good time, not a long time. So, look at how long you can go for and look at what your stamina's like. I'm sure you're all screaming at this going, oh, you big whoosh, just get out there and enjoy yourself. And yeah, you're probably right. But anyway, that's my little post-analysis of the podcast that we did before with Martin. Join me next time, because I'm going to go through a few of the really interesting characters that we met. And if you go out there, and a lot of people are looking at going out there on their own as well. So I'm getting messages from people like saying, I'm really nervous to go out there on their own. I did meet a couple of people that were traveling on their own that had a really couple of interesting stories as well. So I'll let you know about those in the next podcast. I can understand why you would be nervous going away, but I think it's one of those things where you can force yourself to do it and you will be surprised that you would meet people. I think you will meet people. A little bit like, if you join a gym near your house, most of the time you'll be going there on your own. Now, over the time, I'm sure you've met people there that have, you've got chatting to and then you end up being friends with. So listen, I think it's one of those things where push yourself to do it. If you haven't got any other opportunities and you can't drag anyone else with you, push yourself to do it. If you can drag people with you, go as a group. I think you'll have a great time, especially if you grew up in that scene. I think it will be a great way of reconnecting with your youth. And I don't think it's reliving your youth at all. I just think sometimes it's remembering who you were. And that can, like I say at the beginning of this podcast, I think that can get lost sometimes because you're devoting all your time to your kids and other things growing up. So you might get to a stage in your life where you can find yourself again. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining 50 Shades in Grey. Make sure you support the podcast. I love doing this and I get some great feedback, which is always really heartwarming for me because I sit here in front of the camera, jabbering away, and I do wonder sometimes if it's helping people. And I get some great messages. And when I do, it really does fulfill me with a sense of achievement as well. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. Message me on my Insta, on my TikTok, any questions that you have and any ideas about podcasts that you'd like to see, and I'll get to doing those. But enjoy your summer. And if you're not going to Ibiza, wherever you're going, have a great time. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.